She dialed 911 over my backyard barbecue, clutching a laminated clipboard and a dog leash with no dog anywhere in sight. The real kicker? Every guest at my cookout was a 911 responder. I had a SWAT officer flipping burgers, a DEA agent guarding the cooler like it was a drug bust, and my firefighter pal debating brisket temps like it was a life-or-death issue. So when Linda barged in, screeching about illegal gatherings and questionable meats, then smugly announced she'd already called the cops, we didn't stop her. We just waited. She had no clue the police she'd summoned were already here, munching on my ribs and joking about citing her for crimes against barbecue sauce. It started as a simple plan. A laid-back Saturday cookout with my old crew. Nothing crazy, just ribs, a few beers, and catching up with folks I'd worked with over the years. I'm retired now, but my circle is still full of public servants, paramedics, detectives, agents, and firefighters who'd charge into flames for kicks. No blaring music or fireworks, just laughter and the smoky aroma of meat wafting through the cul-de-sac like a siren call for meat lovers. But every neighborhood has that one person who thinks peace hinges on their ability to control everyone else. Ours is Linda, an unofficial watchdog with rules scribbled on her personal stationery, a binder labeled community standards, and a silence obsession that's borderline fanatical. She once reported a parrot to animal control for whistling the Jeopardy tune too loud. Another time she flagged someone for non-compliant flower beds, whatever that means. The moment she caught wind of our chatter, barely above a murmur, she popped up behind my fence like a horror flick jump scare. Her face puckered like she'd sucked on a lemon. She waved her phone, filming us like we were fugitives mid-bite. "Excuse me," she snapped. "You're violating code 12. My firefighter buddy Tom squinted. "What's code 12? She flipped open her binder. "Excessive outdoor assembly involving meat smoke and audible enjoyment." Sarah, a SWAT officer with a wit sharper than her aim, whispered, "That's not a real thing, right?" I smirked. "Not unless we're secretly running a rib syndicate." Linda didn't laugh. She jabbed the air like she was punching through the sky. "I've already called the police," she declared, triumphant, like she'd just won a war she'd started 5 minutes ago. My brother-in-law, Javoyer, a detective with no tolerance for nonsense, raised an eyebrow. "You called the cops on us?" Linda smirked. "Yes. Let's see how long your little meat fest lasts." We swapped glances. DEA agent Derek nearly choked on his soda, stifling a laugh. Sarah flashed her badge and pretended to inspect the coleslaw for EVY Denke. Linda spun on her heel and stormed off, expecting us to scatter. We didn't. We grabbed extra chairs and topped off our drinks, knowing what was coming. 15 minutes later, flashing lights rolled up. 2 rookie cops, barely a year out of the academy, stepped out, looking baffled. Linda raced toward them, flailing like a wind-blown traffic cone. "There they are," she yelled. "They've taken over the street." I suspect unpermitted grilling. The officers eyed us. Tom in his firehouse tee, Sarah by the cooler marked tactical hydration, Derek waving tongs dramatically. Officer Lopez squinted. "Is that Agent Derek?" Derek saluted lazily. "Hey Lopez, glad you could make it." The other cop blinked. "Detective Javoyer?" Javoyer flashed his badge with a shrug. "Even cops gotta eat." Linda's jaw dropped. She scanned the badges, IDs, tactical boots, and gear bags she'd somehow missed. She'd called the police on the police. Her face went from red to pale in seconds. This is a setup," she stammered. "You can't fake being cops to dodge a noise complaint." Sarah snorted. "Fake." Tom stepped up, tapping her binder like he was issuing a ticket. "Ma'am, impersonating a neighborhood dictator's a serious offense too." Linda's eyes darted between us and the cops, who were now biting back grins. One muttered into his radio, clearly just checking in. "False alarm. Just a yard full of first responders getting hassled by a lady who thinks brisket's a felony." Instead of slinking away, Linda doubled down. "This is a conspiracy to intimidate me." "Lady," Sarah said, sipping her drink, "we're just trying to eat. You're the one crying emergency over pork." Linda retreated, pointing a shaky finger. "This isn't over. I know my rights." Javor shook his head. "So do we. We teach the class." She vanished around the corner, flustered but not beaten. The cops hung around, grabbed some food, and promised to swing by off-duty next time. The backyard hummed back to life. Ribs finished cooking. Sarah cracked a joke about staging a fake party to mess with Linda. But even as laughter filled the air, I glanced at the fence. Linda hadn't surrendered. You could feel it like a storm brewing in a power suit. That was round one. She doesn't lose quietly. She regroups, sharpens her clipboard, and plots revenge like a soap opera VY Lane. And as we'd soon learn, she was just warming up. By sunrise, Linda declared war not with words or another 911 call, but with fertilizer. I opened my door, coffee in hand, and froze. On my pristine lawn, etched in a deliberate pile of manure, was a skull complete with angry brows and oversized teeth. A threat? A warning? A compost curse? I called Derek, who lives nearby and takes his DA surveillance hobby seriously. He showed up with a flash drive and a grin. His cameras caught Linda in her tracksuit, hauling a fertilizer bag at 2 a.m. Like a low-budget sitcom baddie. She tripped over her own gnome, cursed a squirrel, and spent 20 minutes perfecting her skull art, stepping back to admire it like a manure Michelangelo. I looped the VY Deo in our group chat. Tom sent laughing emojis and a grill pic captioned Skull Va Rib Special. Sarah suggested framing stills as wanted, lawn crimes. Even Ja VY usually stone-faced, texted, hazmat, or let the grass win. Linda didn't just overreact, she escalated. Every petty gripe became a holy war. She needed a stage, so she went live on Facebook. Standing on her porch, hair stiff with spray, sunglasses hiding her fury, she panned to my house. This, she hissed, is what happens when lawlessness festers in a peaceful community. She zoomed in on her clipboard of fake rules. These people use badges to harass innocents. It's a barbecue coup. Comments rolled in, not the support she wanted. Are you okay? One asked. Is pulled pork a government weapon? Another quipped. My favorite, plot twist. The brisket's the real enemy. Linda pressed on. Next day, she handed out flyers warning of suspicious law enforcement cookouts, taping them to signs and chauffeuring one at Derek while he walked his dog. He folded it into an origami cow and handed it back. But Linda's antics backfired. Neighbors started sharing their own Linda tales, her war on aggressive Halloween decor, her crusade against a teen's unpermitted rollerblading, her claim wind chimes were emotionally disruptive. She even tried to shut down a toddler's party over bubble hazards. So we fought back with unity. Sarah dubbed it Operation Block Re VY Val. We planned a bigger barbecue and VY Ted everyone and got the mayor on board, owed Derek a favor, and loved ribs. Linda hovered across the street, notebook out, snapping pics and measuring noise with her phone. She even called animal control, claiming grill smoke scared birds. We didn't flinch. Tom made Linda free zone shirts. Derek hung a live, laugh, law enforcement banner, and Sarah framed Linda's fake citation as a trophy. The day of, every neighbor showed up, kids played, music flowed, and Linda stood there, filming, muttering about meat-fueled chaos. The mayor arrived, took a rib, and told her, I'm off duty. Let me eat. That broke her. She stormed off, plotting her next move. The war wasn't over. Next morning, Linda hit back with flyers screaming domestic instability, circling my house on a Google Maps printout like a target. Neighbors didn't just laugh, they rallied, building a Linda file of her absurdities. Midweek, Sarah upped the game with fake Linda-approved surveillance, cameras, baby monitors, and a rubber duck with googly eyes that chirped laughter when Linda passed. She stomped to my porch, wah-VYing a flyer. This is harassment. Sit down then, I said, offering a chair. She huffed. I'm this community's shield against chaos. I sipped my coffee. You're about as useful as a soggy napkin in a tornado. That night, she paced the block with a flashlight, measuring lawns. Then came her big play backup. Meet Carl, her cousin, who rolled up in discount tactical gear paintball vest, plastic cuffs, a duct tape badge reading neighborhood enforcer. I'm here to restore order, he barked. Tom, spatula in hand, asked, cookout or costume party? Carl doubled down. I'm authorized by the community BHA VY or unit. Ja VY flashed his badge. That's not real. Carl didn't flinch. That's what they want you to think. Derek laughed so hard he nearly dropped his shake. Linda smirked. He's here to enforce my rules. The ones on pink paper and Comic Sans? I asked. Legally binding in spirit, she said. Sarah grinned. Linda, are you deputizing your cousin in dollar store armor? Carl bristled. This is a reenactment. Derek pulled a citation. Your modded taser's illegal. Want to discuss it in the cruiser? Carl folded. Linda screamed entrapment as he got cuffed. The rookie cops from our first cookout showed up, asking ribs or burgers next time? Laughter erupted. Linda had united usher chaos became our glue. She didn't stop. A week later, a van with sirens and Christmas lights crawled down the street. Linda, in a neighborhood command, sash, flared through a megaphone, disperse. This is illegal. 4 goons in mismatched gear spilled out, taping off my yard with happy birthday, caution tape. Javiwire flashed his badge. Impersonating cops is 6 months minimum. One confessed Linda offered Dula 50 and lemonade. Her nephew on probation just wanted cupcakes. Linda climbed her van, yelling, "History will remember me," then tripped into a flamingo. Cops gave her a final warning. We kept the tape as decor, blasted music, and laughed into the night. Linda's last stand? A lawsuit. She filed an injunction, claiming our cookouts were rave cults, and bounce houses spread contaminants. In court, she ranted about meat cults and drone sparrows. The judge dismissed it, gave her 20 hours of community service, and we walked out grinning. Weeks later, at the fire station, Linda swept leaves in an orange vest, head down. That afternoon, she showed up at our cookout with a pie. "Can I come in?" she asked. I nodded. "No martial law?" She smiled faintly. "I'll try a new tactic." She sat, ate, even laughed. Sarah whispered, "Redemption arc?" I grinned. "Or poison pie." We chuckled. Sometimes the wildest sagas end not with cuffs but with dessert and a chance to start over.